All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Valerie Swenson, and I'm your academic advisor for Chemical Engineering in the School of Engineering Hub. This is a recorded version of the content that was to take place on the 22nd of June. And if you were in the session earlier, we did have some technical issues, but we were able to do an open Q&A, which worked out well. So what this video is an overview of the content that was to take place. What I'll be doing today is briefly introducing myself, talking about chemical engineering, and I'll show you some of the resources that are available. And then if you do have any questions, you can feel free to contact me via email, and I'm also via phone and webinar for you. So at this point, if you're reading and listening to this video, you should have read through the registration guides, and then we have video chats coming up. So again, that one was this morning, the 22nd of June, and then we'll also have one next week as well for chemical engineering. So basically what I'll be doing today is going over some fall curricular planning and then also review briefly how to register for courses. This is more of an overview of the information that was within the guides for you. So again, just kind of a supplemental resource. So some of the questions that I had received about AP credits, I wanted to briefly talk about those, and then I'll also get into curriculum planning. We'll take a look at the template, and then finally I'll show you some resources for actually registering for courses. But the first thing is for transfer credits. That's something that students have had questions on. So in order to receive credit for AP, you have to have a 5 or higher in terms of the score that you have received. So the questions that I get from students is whether they should move forward or not. We absolutely recommend that you do move forward with those courses into the next course within your trajectory. So for instance, if you come in with Calculus 1 credit, go to Calculus 2. 5 years of resources and research have shown that students do well when they move to that next course. In the case that you feel that you're not prepared, the first couple of weeks of classes, you realize that you should be at a different level, we can always make adjustments that way. But our general rule of thumb is that you move forward and we can move you back if you need. So in terms of registering, when you're looking at courses to register for the fall, keep in mind the grades that you got in the AP or that you believe you will get. Those grades should come around when you're registering if they have not already. So with that in mind, you'll want to make sure the transfer credits have been applied to your transcript. If they haven't, you can feel free to contact us, let us know. And kind of the honor system, right? So if you think that you are getting credit for something, move on to the next course and so on. So something also to mention is we have an add deadline within the first 2 weeks of classes. So if adjustments need to be made, those can be made. And then also later on into the semester, about a month in, you have the ability to drop courses too. So let's briefly talk about your registration. That begins on July 13th. So information will be sent to you about how to check your time ticket, which is the actual time that you're registering. And you want to have a plan A, B, and C for courses that you want to take. Some of the resources I'll show you today will help you create a registration plan in the courses that you'll be registering for. So I would just have them kind of in mind, different schedules and different classes in the case that something fills up. That being said, it's staggered in terms of when students are registering and also when classes are released for them to be registered for. So next, I will briefly talk about a couple of registration resources. So I'll go in reverse order here. Your academic advisor, which is me. So again, available here and then also available by phone and email and through webinar as well. We also have SIS, Student Information System, and that's the actual system that you will register for courses within. And then we have YACS. So YACS is an RPI student bill system that allows you to create quote unquote mock schedules for what you want to register for. So briefly what I'll do is I will go over that. That also creates the schedule, and it shows you the courses that you should take, as well as provides you with the CRNs or course registration numbers for the classes that you'll take, and that's actually what you enter to register. So briefly, now that we're talking about chemical engineering, take a look at this first. So this is the chemical engineering curriculum. So at this point, this was in the guides. It's something that you should have been able to review. So the courses that you're taking that are recommended for fall and are recommended for spring are within here in the first year template. So chemical engineers typically take Introduction to Chemical Engineering, It's a 1 credit overview course of the CHME curriculum. They take chemistry with advanced lab, calculus 1, physics 1, and an IHSS course, or interdisciplinary Haas. This is something that students take during their first year here. So you really have 2 semesters to take that IHSS course. So if you have AP credit for, or transfer credit coming in, you'll want to move on to that next course and such. You can bop into the spring here. And if you do have questions about the specifics to register for, say for instance, you want to know, what you could bump up because you do have other credits or what else you can take, let me know. I'm here to help. So I want to briefly go over some of the resources that are available to you. The first thing is SIS. So you log in at sis.rpi.edu. This is where you add courses, and I'll briefly kind of show some screenshots about how you'll do that. So this is what we will use the day of. And then leading up to the day of, you'll be using your chemical and biological engineering registration guide. So this is a really good resource, walks you through all the information that you need. Again, because there are 2 to 3 weeks until you actually register for courses, you have a good amount of time to review this and kind of make a plan. So make sure to go through this. And something else I will show you here is, take a look. Within our guides, toward the end of the guide, we have our video, How to Register for Courses. My colleague Kara has gone through and actually created a video to show how you can go through the registration process. This is better than anything I could tell you right now, but I definitely recommend that you take a look at this. Within your SIS page, there's a student menu, and you'll click on Register, Add, Drop. And then you've got this spot where you're able to enter what are called course registration numbers. So that actually registers you for those courses. And I'll show you how you generate those in a moment. So after registering for those courses, you'll get a pretty comprehensive schedule right here, and it will show you all the courses that you've registered for. If you do have trouble registering for a course, perhaps it's closed or you need a prerequisite, this will also pop down here. But the fact that these courses are listed means that that was a successful registration, which is great. Again, we're here for you as resources to assist during this time. So another thing I will show you quickly is YACS. So YACS is an RPI student-created system. And basically what this does is this allows you to create a mock schedule based upon the courses that you want to take. So what we do is we use this here template, and we use these different course codes, right? So 4-letter, 4-number codes, and we enter these into YACS to be able to create a schedule. So one thing that chemical engineers take is Chem 1100, which is chemistry with advanced lab. So what you're able to do is see the different times that courses are offered. You can click next to the name here to select all of these, or you can click individual and then select. So what we'll do here is we actually go through CHME 1010. And we do this for each of the courses that we're taking. So you can see for the introductory chem course, there's only one section, so kind of makes your choosing easy. Click schedule, and then we can kind of start to see the different schedules that are available to you. So calculus 1, you're able to see here, and you'll see that some of these are full. Some of these actually have this little red exclamation point, which means that there are section conflicts. So that directly conflicts with something we've also already put on the schedule, so we don't want to do that. So let's say we just want to take this course. That one's not going to work. So what you're able to do is kind of create schedules based upon this. So something I want to mention quickly is for students taking Physics 1, you're actually going to want to take what's called Physics Mentoring and Physics 1. So they're 2 separate courses. Typically they're built together, but Physics Mentoring is a bit different in that it's a separate course that you register for. The day of registration, you're actually going to want to register for both Physics 1960, which is Physics Mentoring, and Physics 1100 at the same time. So Physics 1960 Some of those sections conflict. Put this one in, for instance. And then you'll start to see that we have a number of different schedules available. Depending upon how specific you get with courses, you can have up to 1,000 different schedules, which can feel overwhelming to flip through. So then this is where I would start to narrow down based upon the sections that you want and times. For instance, ROTC and athlete students, there are some reservations in terms of when you need to use your time for things like practices and workouts and things like that. So you're going to want to make sure that you're taking classes that end before the time that's needed. And perhaps you just have a preference. Maybe you know that you're a morning person and you want to have most of your courses in the morning. That's when you can kind of go through these schedules and think to yourself, you know, this one starts a little bit earlier. This means I'll be out earlier too. So that's how you go about it this way. But one more important thing I want to mention is this, the CRNs, aka course registration numbers. This is what you're actually going to use, these codes, to register for courses. So you're going to enter those into these little sections here to create this schedule. So again, CRN, course registration number, and then the course themselves is a 4-letter, 4-digit code that helps you search both within SIS and YACS for courses. So one thing I want to mention about YACS is a great tool to use. However, it's not live for the day of registration. There can be a tiny bit of a delay. Whoops. All right. So I'm going to show you. Once I log into the system here. Is our class search. So the day of registration, you actually want to use this to do a search for classes. Let's say math. So you search this way. And then this is yet another tool for you to be able to use in order to search for classes. So you can see an SR means a class is open, a C means a class is closed. So this basically concludes everything I was going to go over for the registration video chat today. And if you have any questions, my contact is throughout the guide. You can reach me by email, phone, and also webinar chat. And I thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you all. Take care.